Hello, welcome to my new channel where you and I discuss health. As always, it's a great opportunity to come in this channel. In this video today, you and I will discuss the signs and symptoms of type 1 diabetes mellitus. You recall that in the previous video, we saw the causes of type 1 diabetes mellitus. And we saw that type 1 diabetes mellitus is as a result of the damage done to the pancreatic cells that produce insulin. Because of that, some of those cells can die or remain progressively inactive, so much so that they cannot produce insulin. And you know that insulin is important in the body because it's the insulin that we take glucose that you and I consume to go and nourish the cells in the various parts of our body. And if there is no insulin, you can see the result. There will be a lot of glucose in the bloodstream, and this will lead to diabetes. Now, we also saw that it's as a result of consuming too much protein, because when you and I consume too much proteins, this will damage the wall of the artery, and by so doing will not allow the pancreatic cell to be nourished. These are the major causes of type 1 diabetes. My name is Dr. Manu, a medical doctor specialized in ophthalmology with a passion to see you well spiritually, psychologically, mentally, and of course, physically. Now, thank you. In this video, we shall see the signs and symptoms of type 1 diabetes after the break. Welcome back and thank you again for watching. As we said, today we're going to zoom in into our discussion on the signs and symptoms of type 1 diabetes. You and I must be able to detect those signs before it is too late. Know that type 1 diabetes are known to develop suddenly, quickly, over a few days or weeks. They can be severe and, if left untreated, life-threatening. Type 1 diabetes can be detected in childhood but can develop at any age. So being diagnosed and treated quickly is very critical. Now, as we found out in the causes of type 1 diabetes, when those cells can no longer more produce insulin, the blood glucose start to rise quickly, and we can find the following type 1 diabetic warning signs and symptoms. I will mention some few here. Number 1, we will see increased urination. This is as a result of the fact that there is glucose in urine pulling water from kidneys. Then you have increased urination. There will be fatigue. Number 2. Why fatigue? You know that the purpose of glucose in the body is for energy. When there is no insulin to take this glucose to the cell, then the body will not have energy. That is why there is fatigue. There can also be excessive thirst and drinking a lot of fluids. Part of this reason is what we saw: increased urination. The body needs a lot of water in order to flush out excessive glucose in urine. By so doing, the body will pull out water from the kidney, and that is why you will be thirsty. You want to drink in order to pass out that glucose in urine. Also, there is excessive hunger. Why hunger? You need to understand this, that when you have diabetes, your fat cells that are producing leptin in order to regulate your appetite, they are no longer able to send the message to the brain. We have what we call leptin resistance, because they cannot pass the message to the brain for the brain to tell the body that you have to stop eating. That is why you see diabetic people, they eat, they are always hungry, they want to eat. and they eat. Why? Because leptin is not doing its work properly, because there is leptin resistance. The message is not going through the brain for the brain to let the body to stop eating, and consequently people have weight gain because it is not their fault. It is an hormonal problem, and we have to look at it in that angle. Otherwise we'll be blaming obese people, not knowing that they are going through leptin resistance. Now they can also experience blurred vision. You will recall that diabetes will affect the eye by damaging the small blood vessel at the back of the eye. We call it diabetic retinopathy. Those blood are very, very small, and when there is presence of diabetes in the body, those cells are easily damaged. When they are damaged, they can easily bleed, and also increase abnormal blood vessel growth will happen, and this is what we call glaucoma. This will affect your vision with time, and also diabetes tend to affect the lens of the eye. You can experience irritability, oral and vaginal thrush, disruption of menstrual cycles, and miscarriage. You can have yeast infections, mood swings, dry skin, and dry mouth. Should any of the symptoms be treated, they may soon settle down and fade away. However, without treatment, the blood sugar level becomes extremely high and acid form in the bloodstream, commonly known as ketoacidosis. If this condition persists, you will become dehydrated and are more likely to lapse into coma and die. That's why it is important to understand the signs and symptoms of type 1 diabetes and quickly treat it. To understand that there will be an increased urination and excessive thirst. Why? Because there is leaking of glucose into your urine, which pulls out extra water through the kidneys. If this condition is not managed and glucose keep increasing in bloodstream, this can lead to serious damage, especially in the part of your body, including your eyes and your feet. See, as we said, in the eyes, you will develop diabetic retinopathy, and this condition can lead to blindness. Because of diabetes, there are two major conditions that can happen in the eyes: diabetic retinopathy and glaucoma. Glaucoma because there is going to be abnormal growth of blood vessel that will block the natural drainage of the eye. That is why you will develop glaucoma. You also will have kidney problems, and we call it diabetic nephropathy. This diabetes can damage your kidney over a long time by making it harder to the kidneys to extract fluid and waste from your body. Diabetes affects the arteries of the body, and we know that the kidney filters blood from many arteries, and if these arteries are being damaged, it will be difficult to the kidney to filter the blood. As a result, you have dark urine caused by blood in urine, swelling ankles, and tiredness as a result of lack of oxygen in the blood, and you can even experience shortness of breath. It's also important to understand here that because of diabetes, many people can experience gum disease. Why? Because the high level of sugar in the bloodstream can lead to more sugar in your saliva, which brings bacteria, which produces acids, which attacks your tooth enamel and damage the gums. When these gums are damaged, they are likely to get infected, and this will reduce the supply of oxygen, nourishment to the gums, making infection of the gums and bones more likely. We will also have heart attacks and strokes. Now, finally, there will be sexual problems. Those diagnosed with diabetes are more at risk of sexual dysfunction. Having high sugar level for a long period can damage your blood vessels and nerves, including the ones that supply your sexual organs. Damage to blood vessels and nerves can restrict the amount of blood flowing to your sexual organs, so you can lose some sensation. If you have high blood sugar sugar. You are also more likely to get thrush or urinary tract infection in women. For men, this may lead to erectile dysfunction, also called impotence, as the amount of blood flowing to sexual organ can be restricted, which may cause you to have difficulty getting aroused. Therefore, my friend, it is important for you and I to be careful and study our body in order to identify these symptoms and signs that happen as a result of high blood sugar in our body. I trust that in this video, you and I have come to understand some of the signs and symptoms of type 1 diabetes and how they affect our body. As usual, remember that all what we discuss in this video and all my videos is formative only. This is not a medical consultation nor a personal medical advice. Therefore, my friend, for a full medical advice, please do consult your general practitioner. I trust that for now we will pay more attention because there is a pandemic outside, and the name of the pandemic is diabetes. It's taking the hold of the life of many and destroying them daily. But I trust that you and I, having been informed, we pay more attention to what we eat and how we live our life. This is Dr. Manu reminding you that your health will change when you begin to change what is in your plate. Remember, I love you. Peace. See you in the next video.